Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Welcome back, you guys. We're having another lunation. This time around it is the Virgo full moon. My name is Ajay, by the way, for those of you guys that are just now tuning into my channel. Having another lunation. We're always having lunations, but we're having one of the more common ones, one of the ones that you guys know about. We are having a full moon, this time in the earth sign of Virgo. Very quickly to start, for those of you guys that don't know what a full moon is, it is when the moon, the side of the moon that is illuminated, is facing us, so we can clearly see the moon in the sky. It looks like a big old piece of cheese. And I think I talked about this in the last video where I was like, do people really used to think that the moon was made of cheese? I never did any research. I don't know. I hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so with that being said, I'm putting up this video talking about this because the moon governs our emotions, so we deal with the moon's influence on a day-to-day. When the moon is full, I tend to look at it kind of like our cup runneth over with emotions. It's a time of illumination. It's a time of gaining clarity. It's also a time of release. As I said, cup running over with emotions. The moon is associated with the water element, so I do always look at the full moons as a time of cleansing, as I said, as a time of release, as a time of ending cycles, phasing things out, whatever, you know. This time around, we're also having a full moon. So what? Not a full moon, a super moon. We're having a super moon, and that just means that this time around with this lunation, the moon is at its closest point. It'll be at its closest point to us as it will ever be. And we have a couple of super moons a year, I believe. With that being said, as far as the energy goes, with the super moon, that means that the energy of this full moon will be intensified. So the things that are being released, the clarity that we gain, the insight that we gain, the emotions that we experience, which I'll talk about that in a minute, but all of that is going to be amplified during this time, specifically probably more so during the shadow of the couple days surrounding the full moon. But you can expect to be dealing with this energy for the next couple of weeks. We deal with this Virgo lunar full moon energy up until we are moving into what's next? What's next? My Pisces, until we move into the Pisces lunar cycle. As I said, this moon is in the sign of Virgo. That is the earth sign. Virgo is the virgin, which we'll talk about Virgo energy in just a second. To start this full moon, this lunation is happening on, I believe it's a Tuesday, February 19th. And it's going to be happening at 10:53 a.m. and that is Eastern Standard Time. So wherever you are, you know, do the math and figure it out. Okay, so for those of you guys that are like, what's a Virgo? What's that? What are they like? No, I know a few Virgos that I actually like. We all got our signs that are just not really our favorite. Virgos, they fall into that category for me. But I know a few Virgos that are actually just really super popping also, anyway, so Virgo, as I said, Virgo is the virgin. Virgo is an earth sign. That sign resonates with this energy of organization. If you know any Virgos, they are very, very analytical. They are ruled by Mercury. So they're all about figuring things out, deciphering certain situations, practicality, organization I think I said organization, routines. Virgos are also very dedicated, very diligent. They are known for, getting work done and actually doing work in a way that makes sense. We're going to talk about this, doesn't make sense in a second. But Virgos are all about, what actually needs to be done and having a clear understanding of it and being able to make moves in regards to that. Okay, so this full moon being in the sign of Virgo, the first thing I did want to talk about is going back a little bit to the new moon in Virgo when we had the Virgo lunar cycle. If you watched my video for the Virgo lunar cycle, you know the theme of that video was, does this make sense? Does it make sense to be doing this? Does it make sense to be doing it like this? And does it make, like, what do we need and what do we not need? So coming around to this full moon, one of the energies that we will be dealing with during these next couple of days, going into the next couple of weeks, is looking at the things that were coming up during that Virgo lunar cycle, looking at the strategies that we put into play, where we decided to put our energy, how we decided to go about doing things, excuse me, and seeing how the end goal that we put into play during that point, seeing how where we are now and how we've been either held back from it, how actions that we have taken or plans that we've set up have maybe kind of strayed us from the end goal that we saw during that time back in, that would have been August and September. So really, again, does this make sense? Where we're at right now is what doesn't make sense. So whatever you've been working towards, whatever you've been trying to do during this next couple of weeks, it's very, very likely that you might have some sort of epiphany, might have a lot of aha moments coming up in these next couple of weeks, like, oh, well, I see why that didn't work. Or like, oh, well, I see how, not writing would make it to where I'm not getting any writing opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Example, personal example. Another thing that I did want to touch on was, because we're dealing with the full moon, we deal with illumination and we deal with clarity. So also in regards to, and this is a full moon, so we're talking about release, things that we need to move away from. I was talking about how our goals were set up and how the plans that we set up and put into place, how during this time we'll be looking at, okay, well, has everything that we've done up until this point, did it make sense? Was it logical to get me to where I was trying to go? Because we're talking about illumination and gaining clarity during these next couple of weeks, you may definitely start to see actually, like, oh, how you can achieve those goals. And although it is a full moon, and I don't necessarily preach to getting new things started or cultivating new things during the full moon, I definitely do use this time to work around in my thoughts what I need to be cultivating once the next lunar cycle comes up. So personally, I wouldn't say to start making any moves in regards to your goals, but what I would say is to be thinking about the moves that you need to be making in regards to your goals, because in a couple of weeks we will be in the Pisces lunar cycle, and Pisces is a poppin' ass energy when it comes to doing things and lending new energies and really putting a passion behind the shit that we want to do. This is also going to be a time, again, talking about release and talking about, excuse me, cycles ending, where Virgo is a worker. Virgo, as I said, Virgo is diligent, Virgo is determined. So during this next couple of weeks, we'll probably also be taking a little bit of time to look at where we've been being kind of lazy, where we've been being stagnant, Last year was all about this enlightenment, coming into this kind of awakened sense of what is it that I need, what is it that I need to do, what's popping for me, what's not popping for me, how do I align myself with these energies. Now we're in a 3-year where it's time to create and cultivate, right? So as far as, what have we been doing, what have we not been doing is more so the focus of this full moon. So this Virgo full moon is definitely going to come in with this energy of, okay, you have a goal, you have a plan set in place, you see where you want to be, you see what you want to be doing. However, what have you been doing? And Virgo is an earth energy, so let's just keep it real. You might have to give yourself a little bit of tough love during this lunar cycle. Like I said, you guys might be having a lot of aha moments. You really may have those days where you're like, well, shit, things aren't popping off because I haven't been doing anything in regards to making them pop, and why would they? So again, Virgo is very analytical. You'll be having those epiphanies, and at the same time, you'll also be able to work through and work out your own thoughts. So with this being an earth moon, and so many things I want to say to you guys. With this being an earth moon, it's very likely that you will either on one end be dealing with emotions that you don't know how to express, and that could be very frustrating, or on another hand, you may just feel very chill in regards to your emotions, which is sometimes why I like the earth moons, because they take away my whole little Cancer sun, Cancer moon, Cancer Venus ass, takes away from all of the emotional weight that these full moon and new moons can carry. Excuse me. So, sorry, excuse me, be getting a little bit of insight into, you know, what you haven't been doing in regards to what it is that you want to see pop off for yourself. And then you'll also be able to be real with yourself during this full moon or during these next couple of weeks, and to which you can actually acknowledge and accept, and then go on and start to think about the plans that you're going to be setting up in these next couple of weeks to come up here, getting ready to set up, be thinking these thoughts during these next couple of weeks. Also, I did want to talk a little bit about Virgo being the Virgin, Virgo being associated with purity. That's not to say that these next couple of weeks or these next few days is going to be all boring and prude and ain't no fun being had. When I speak about Virgo being the Virgin and talking about purity and pure energy in regards to Virgo, I am more so talking about this is going to be a time where we see, with this illumination, we gain some clarity in regards to what things need to be, we need to stop doing in order to, I made it so far without getting that tongue twisted. What I was trying to say was, in regards to that purity energy associated with Virgo, is during these next couple of weeks, you guys will definitely, more than likely, especially dealing with the illumination and the clarity gain and the energy of release and cycles ending with the full moon, you guys will definitely be having these, again, ahas and epiphany moments and realizations and shit in regards to what is truly me, what kind of work do I truly need to be doing, how do I really need to be moving, what really resonates with me, returning to a true essence of self in regards to purity. Again, not talking about having a boring life or not getting no play. I'm literally talking about pure in regards to purely being you, your true essence, having that full moon energy, shining down that light, giving us that clarity to say, okay, what does my heart truly desire that I truly need to be working towards, okay? Excuse me. I talked about this being an earth moon already. Virgo is a mutable sign, and the mutable signs are the signs that carry through the change initiated by the cardinal signs and built upon by the fixed signs. So Virgo is a sign that ends the summer season. So two messages here. Anything that you were cultivating around the end of August, beginning of September, you may see that start to come around full circle or half circle, whatever. You may start to see energies associated with that, or certain projects, or you might remember like intentions that you placed back during the Virgo lunar cycle, and you may start to see that pop up during this time, or start to see little seeds starting to sprout, or start to see ways in which you need to clear out debris in order for you to actually tap into and build upon those plans, all right? With that being said, I said something about clearing out energy, and I have a note here where I was talking, I don't see it on the paper anymore, but I was talking about this kind of being a little bit of a pre-spring cleaning before the spring, before we actually come into the new astrological year, because we have Pisces and then Aries is next. So with this Virgo lunar cycle, with this being a full moon and Virgo being the, okay, we need to get organized, we need to have a strategy, we need to, nope, doesn't make sense, it doesn't, okay, bye. This is literally a time for you to kind of spring clean your energy. So kind of clear out that clutter, clear out that debris, get rid of, cut the negative energetic cords to whatever it is that you are still attached to, that you don't really resonate with, or you're not really in alignment with anymore. Again, this is a pre-spring cleaning, so we're getting ready to wrap up the astrological year, actually, with Pisces being next, and then us going into Aries. So we have one more lunar cycle before we are in the new astrological year. So this is where we start to close up chapters. Although we are already in 2019 in regards to astrology, we're wrapping up right now. We're getting ready to head into a new and really good shit popping for 2019 coming up once we hit around April here. No, actually that'll be around April. March, I want to say, actually March. Look, I'll have a video up when it's time. I don't know, y'all. But it's a pre-spring cleaning. So just keep in mind that there's going to be a lot. You're going to be thinking about a lot of things during this time. A lot of you, because this is an earth moon and this is earth, you may actually physically be spring cleaning before the spring, if that makes sense. What else do I have here? I always like to talk about the shadow energies in relation to these zodiac signs. So because this is a full moon, I do associate this one with the sappy energies and the emotions and the crying and all the outbursts and stuff. But again, this is Earth, so again, you may be dealing with that and on the inside and not know how to articulate it, dealing with Virgo. But on the other hand, because it's Earth, you may just kind of not really even feel the need to put too much energy into your emotions during this full moon. But don't be surprised if they do pop up. Now, if they do, and they do pop up in a negative way, on the shadow side, Virgo can be very pessimistic. Virgo can be very judgmental too. They are very critical of the way that other people work. What else? Virgos can be a little they're like perfectionists, and they can also be very like stiff and uptight, like dang girl, what's the song? Go Gina, you need some get right. Like that's when Virgos are not rocking and their highest good, they need to listen to Go Gina and go get some get right, mama. So during this time, if you are tapping a little bit into those heavy energies of this full moon, you can definitely expect to feel a little like, woe is me, things are not working out. I don't know why I wanted to do this. I don't know why I wanted to do it like that. You may find yourself looking at the things that other people are doing like, why are you doing that like that? Or I wouldn't do that like that. But just keep in mind that it's not for you to judge other people. It's not for you to decide what's right for the next person. I say this in a lot of my videos. Your truth is not the next person's truth, and the next person's truth is not yours. So whoever I just kicked game to was like, no, don't tell the secrets. Excuse me, sorry. So just keep that in mind during these next couple of weeks. Like as you're breaking things down and figuring things out, like people are not always going to see eye to eye with you on however you're living your life, and you're not going to see eye to eye with them on how they're living their life. But it's not really for you to decide or for you to judge, to be completely honest. And just know that that could be that Virgo energy that on the shadow side looming over you with the full moon. Okay. Quickly, I want to talk a little bit about the numerology. This full moon, following the trend like the last few ones, is in 0 degrees. And what does that mean? That in addition to it being a full moon, on top of it being a super moon, this is also going to be a hella super duper amplified energy. So in regards to spring cleaning and clearing out clutter, when I tell you like during these next couple of weeks, certain things may be popping up that you may be like, why am I dealing with this right now? Like, I don't even care about this. Everything is happening in divine timing, and it's happening for a reason, because there are certain energies that need to be released before we really get rocking in this 3 year. And when we're really gonna get rocking once we hit Aries season. So before we can even get into that and tap into that energy, of course, as we come into a new year, we're only in February, y'all. Like we're still carrying certain things with us from last year that we do need to get rid of, that we do need to release. So this Virgo full moon is coming in like, hey, whether you're ready or not, there's some shit that you got to get rid of. So let's do that. Now you can do whatever it is that you need to do. So just be mindful. And I do talk about this, especially a lot when I'm talking about Saturn and Capricorn. There are crumbling foundations for a lot of people currently, but those foundations are crumbling to clear out space energetically so that you can build upon the pillars that you need to be setting in your life, okay? So again, everything that I just talked about in this video with the 0 degree energy, just all of those things are going to be amplified. You will probably feel a lot lighter once we come out of the Virgo full moon, or at least when we come out of the shadow, okay? This full moon is falling on a 6th day, which is it's not interesting in the least, because I resonate the number 6 with earth energy for some reason, because 6 is nurturing, it is stability, it is home, foundation also. So it's also 6 also resonates with the energy of unconditional love, and also what was the other thing that I have written down here? Oh, and the beautiful things in life. So this full moon falling on this particular day comes in with kind of a little bit of a cushion. It's kind of like, okay, I know I'm hitting you with the super moon and a moon in 0 degrees, and it's a full moon and it's in Virgo. I'm sorry, here's a little bit of a cushion, here's some love for you. So everything that is happening. Again, I said this earlier, everything in divine timing, everything that's being released, all these cycles that are coming to an end during this lunar cycle, understand that it's happening for a reason. And I think in regards to this lunation, related to some of the other ones, we might feel a little bit more at ease with letting some of these things go, which is like, it's like, oh really, with Virgo? But no, coming with this 6 energy on this day, it's like, no, these things have to be done because it makes sense, and here's a little bit of love with it because you have to do it, okay? All right, guys, so that is it. Just write your intentions in regards to clearing out whatever it is that needs to be released from you energetically and physically, so that you can actually get to your goals in the most effective way. Those goals that you set up last year, that you set up at the beginning of this year, what needs to be released? What do you need to spring clean before the spring, so that you can continue along your path without falling into obstacles, falling into little potholes, tripping over sticks and rocks and shit, okay? The people that will be most affected by this full moon are people with their moons in Virgo and 0 degrees. If that's you, I'm sorry, or congratulations. It can go one of 2 ways. People with their moons in Virgo and 0 degrees, if you have your moon within 6 or 7 degrees either side of that, you can expect to be affected. These moons been taking me out. My moon's in 3 degrees. If you have your moon in Virgo, if you have Virgo in any of your personal planets, like your sun, your moon, or your rising, any planet that you may have in Virgo in your chart, expect whatever aspects that planet governs, expect for those to be touched during this lunar cycle. That's the best way that I could put that. What else? If you have Virgo heavy charts or earth heavy charts, you can definitely expect to feel this energy. And then if you have a chart with a lot of mutable energy in it, so whatever Virgo's opposite is and whatever the other 2 mutable signs are, and I'm gonna put up videos on those because I be forgetting sometimes myself, but I can tell you all about the cardinal signs. Cancer, gang, 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 Capricorn, hey, no. So yes, you guys, if that's you, if you have any of those aspects in your chart, you can definitely expect to see a little bit of a shift in your life during these next couple of weeks, or maybe a lot of bit of a shift, just depending on what your placements are natally. And yeah, I think that's it. And I got an intro and an outro, so I don't have to drop all the plugs and all the links. The only thing I do want to tell you guys is that because we are in the month of love, my love readings will be half off through the end of February. So if you're one of those people that has been pressing me for a love reading and I've been like, and you didn't want to pay full price, now is the time to book one. You can get all of the info, everything you need about everything I said in this video. You can get it down in the description box below. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see y'all next time.